Today we're going to step back in time as we delve into the fascinating and often perilous history of arsenic in art. From its ancient origins to its widespread use during the Victorian era, arsenic has left an indelible mark on the canvas of human creativity. While it did bring vivid hues to the masterpieces of renowned artists, it also cast a shadow of tragedy and illness. In today's episode, join us as we unravel the stories of beauty intertwined with toxicity. Dun dun dun.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Welcome back into the Escape Pod, everybody. I'm Julie.
I am Charity.
She's a mad Charity today.
We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to roll with it.
We're just going to roll with it. There's no better place to escape to today than right here in a padded room.
Padded cell might serve its freaking purpose today. Good Lord.
You know, it's
the roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited in the board meeting and then get gut punched with a team's going to have to pivot hard just in the last 10 minutes. Like, the roller coaster, it's
a little bit of whiplash.
Roller coaster.
This is why
I might throw up.
I don't like roller coasters.
Have you ever thrown up during an episode?
Please don't. Then I will be throwing up. Then we're going to have a big mess.
Thrower upper?
I don't know if it's sympathetic. It's probably like, oh my gosh,
smells.
Yeah, it's the smells. So let's set aside the thing you're really escaping. And do you have anything you're escaping? Like a fun escape?
This is going to consume my brain. That's all I can think of, and I can't talk about it.
Well, I am escaping something I did to my leg. I don't know what. I think I ran into something last week. I had to ask my child last night, do you remember what I ran into like Thursday or Friday? And he was like, I think it was in the kitchen. Like, this is my brain. Yes, we had a leaky faucet. When I realized it was leaking, I went to like pull stuff out quickly from underneath and I whacked my like shin on something. And the day it happened, like it hurt, but it didn't really hurt, but I must have like hit a nerve. And so yesterday, thankfully, I had a campus tour today and I was okay. But if it would have happened yesterday, like I could hardly walk.
Hop along.
It hurt so much. I was like a gimp.
Oh, really?
Yes,
wow.
I was limping along. But it's overnight. It felt a little bit better. And so today I was better. But yeah, I'm like, who has something hurt so badly and they cannot remember what they did? Like, I can't remember exactly what I hit it on, but it was really quick.
I do that all the time. Like, if I'm cleaning house, I'm just going 1,000 miles an hour.
And you have a bruise,
where do these
and you're
bruises
like,
come from? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my, at one point, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway. My husband was at work and I called him and I said, this is for a reason though. If I had a blood clot, what should I be looking for? Because my mom had a blood clot years ago and she was asymptomatic. And so it was not until she was super sick that they realized that that's what the initial cause was. So, I get a little paranoid about such things because we have known people over the years who had like a bump that became something more serious. And so I freaked out a little, but it feels much better today. So I think my freak out was a little premature.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
A little premature. Tell me more about arsenic and other
I'm trying to remember what
things.
I wouldn't say fun.
No, I'm not either. Fun was said.
We're going to try to have fun with this, but it just is interesting, humans, how we try things.
Yeah.
We invent, we learn, we get feedback. We realize that was a bad idea and we don't do that again, right? This is one of those things.
We do that a lot.
This is one of those things. Yeah, we do that a lot. But that's how you get smarter. That's how knowledge is power. You get that feedback and but this was a colossal fail in human history. So I don't remember what we were talking about. This was inspired by some episode we did a long time ago that involved arsenic, and I don't quite remember it now. But I was like
somebody intentionally used it on.
Yeah,
someone.
but I'm like, this would be interesting.
Okay,
because and I've seen it in like movies and stuff where someone will lace like a book or something with arsenic, and it makes the reader very sick. So anyway, not true crime sense today. But there are plenty of intentional poisonings by arsenic. We've probably covered some.
Yeah.
but rather, just through less nefarious means. We're going to talk about it today. So arsenic, as it turns out, was used a lot, particularly in Victorian times. It was used in art, wallpaper, clothing. That bright green, those bright green, gorgeous dresses. What are you looking at me? You think I'm poisoned?
No, like clothing?
Clothing.
That seems like just so
think
weird.
About how vivid some of these gowns were, the vivid green in particular.
I guess.
That's arsenic. Accessories, it led to a lot of illnesses, including hysteria. That's what it was when we were doing the hysterical. Okay, that's what it was. It's like arsenic played a role in that. And other afflictions too. So it's been known since ancient times, but it wasn't until the 18th and 19th centuries that its application in art became popular.
Okay.
And it was because of those pigments. They call it Scheele's green, Paris green, and emerald green.
Do you realize your fingernails are green? I don't know if they'll be able to see that.
They are green. Not
They're
that
pretty.
color green, though. But all of these brilliant green colors are due to the copper arsenite used to make that color. So this is where it comes from. Okay. So the Industrial Revolution, term used loosely, it was a revolution.
It was, but
Lessons learned.
yeah.
It led to a very widespread use of arsenic-laden pigments for wallpapers, fabrics, other household items, just all kinds of things, and we'll get to that. William Morris was a renowned British textile designer, and he extensively used these dyes in his creations. Ironically, fun fact, this is a fun fact, he was an advocate for health reform, unaware that his designs were contributing to the health crises in the area.
Whoops. Shoot. That's a big oops right there.
Big oops. But the beauty of the arsenic-laden art, it really did come at a big price. Prolonged exposure to arsenic dust and vapors would lead to chronic arsenic poisoning. They called it arsenicosis, and it manifested in symptoms such as severe abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, skin lesions, and long-term exposure would result in more severe conditions, including cancer and neurological disorders. So it was nothing to laugh at.
No.
One of the most notorious cases of arsenic-induced hysteria occurred in the Victorian era. The affluent classes enamored by the vibrant colors, like it was showy, right? Very peacocky. Wallpaper. They wanted back then it was considered so gaudy and garish, but people would do this to stand out, right?
Sure.
But they were unknowingly poisoning themselves, and the damp climate in Britain contributed to that. So it fostered growth of mold on these wallpapers, which would react with the arsenic and produce these toxic arsenic gases that they couldn't really smell, but were poisoning them nonetheless. So entire families would fall ill. They'd have symptoms ranging from headaches to dizziness to catastrophic organ failure. So, and not know it's this silent killer, right?
Yeah.
That it's their wallpaper or the painting or the dress that you're putting on your kids or whatever. They had no idea. One particularly tragic story is that of artist Dante Gabriel Rossetti. He was known for his use of that color, vivid colors in general, but really his affinity for arsenic-laden pigments was believed to have contributed to his mental and physical decline. So his later years were marked by things like severe depression, paranoia, and eventual descent into madness, just total madness, all touch with reality gone. And this was not uncommon among artists at that time.
I was going to say, I think sometimes we just think artists kind of have those tendencies.
They're spending a lot of time with these colors that are created out of this. Yeah. This is even more fun. Arsenic was also used in medicine.
Oh.
So small doses. What's that saying? Hair of the dog, or a little dose of, I don't know. What is the saying? There's a little dose of something poisonous because actually medicinal. There's a saying.
Oh.
I can't find it in my brain.
I can't.
I'm mad about other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But they attempted to use small doses of arsenic. They would use it to treat diseases kind of like chemotherapy today. Okay. Arsenic trioxide was used to treat cancerous growths. It was also used to treat syphilis. Fun fact.
Fun.
All right. Here's an infamous true crime story, non-intentional, called the Bradford Suite poisoning that was related to our topic today.
Okay.
So 1858, the British town of Bradford witnessed a devastating event known as the Bradford Suite poisoning, where over 200 people were made ill and 20 died.
Oh, my.
And because of the super high price of sugar at that time, in fact, it was so high that it was called white gold, and it was kept under lock and key. People in the UK needed to find substitutes for their goods that required sugar so they could stay in business without going bankrupt. So the Bradford Suite poisoning happened when a local confectioner named Joseph Neal inadvertently used arsenic trioxide instead of a harmless substance called DAF, short for daft, meaning stupid or foolish, and made out of powdered limestone and plaster of Paris as a filler. So they would use this filler in the production of like their candies and different things. Yeah. So
none of that sounds good.
Well, none of it sounds good. And somehow he had arsenic trioxide next to daft. But it was mistakenly supplied by a druggist, Mr. Hodgson, who intended to send the daft, but the containers were not well labeled, so he gave him arsenic trioxide. And the mistake was not discovered during the manufacture of the confections, even though the finished product did look a little unusual. The lozenge-style candies were made by combining 40 pounds of sugar, 12 pounds of arsenic trioxide, 4 pounds of gum, and peppermint oil to create. These were called peppermint humbugs, and they would create at least 40 pounds of these candies.
Okay.
The sweets reportedly contained enough arsenic to kill 2 people per lozenge, per humbug.
Oh, my.
This mistake led to the deaths of 20 people and the poisoning of over 200 others. Symptoms of arsenic poisoning were the severe stomach pain, the vomiting, diarrhea, obviously, and then it quickly manifested. You popped a lozenge like you were going to start to exhibit symptoms pretty quickly. And all involved were subsequently charged with manslaughter, but none ended up being convicted. The event caused widespread panic and highlighted the need for stricter regulation and better quality control in the production of food and pharmaceuticals. See, we learned. We got better.
We do learn.
It ultimately led to significant legislative changes, including the 1860 Adulteration of Food and Drink Act, which aimed to prevent such tragedies in the future.
Okay.
And the abolition of the sugar tax in 1874 meant that sugar became more affordable. And then, of course, we all know the rest is history based on our big food episode. Okay, here's another one. This was the London beer poisoning. Another tragic incident. I mean, the 1900s were wild.
Right.
Okay, so over the course of a few weeks, more than 6,000 people fell ill. Around 70 died after consuming beer laced with arsenic. So here's how this happened. This one was unusual, though, because no one caught on for around 4 months.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So the doctor, seeing patients who were usually heavy drinkers and showed like muscle weakness and numbness of the hands and feet, they initially thought they were symptoms of the alcohol consumption. These are people who drink a lot.
Fair.
But when 41 people succumbed to peripheral neuritis, multiple neuritis, or alcoholic neuritis, and 66 people died from what doctors thought was alcoholism in the 4 months of the outbreak, they realized maybe something else was going on.
Yeah.
So these cases of neuritis were eventually connected to cases of skin discoloration, previously thought to be unrelated. Ernest Reynolds, the doctor responsible for making the connection between this and that, also noticed that only one substance would cause those symptoms, and it was arsenic. So he also noted that heavy drinkers who mainly consume spirits seemed less affected than the beer drinkers.
Oh.
So that was smart, and he gathered samples for analysis from the different taverns frequented by his patients, which then confirmed the presence of arsenic in the beer that they consumed.
Okay.
So here's what happened. The source of this contamination was traced back to arsenic-laden sugar used in the brewing process.
Okay.
Investigations revealed that the sugar was contaminated with arsenic due to impurities in the sulfuric acid used during its production. So again, abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, all the stuff, and then death for 70 people. And this incident brought to light the dangers of chemical additives in food and drink and spurred further public health reforms, although With our big food episode, those are out the window in the United States. It also led to the establishment of more stringent food safety regulations and improved manufacturing processes to prevent contamination. Now we're playing the long game in the United States. So, all right. I've mentioned wallpaper several times too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about wallpaper. This was an epidemic. So this started in 1868.
Okay.
A, quote, mysterious illness swept through Vienna, affecting many affluent households. And this illness was characterized by severe gastrointestinal symptoms, neurological disorders, and death, and was eventually traced back to the wallpaper in their houses. The vivid colors, and I don't know if you've ever seen, yeah, but I mean, they're so beautiful. But that's what was doing, just slowly poisoning them.
Crazy.
So they were also popular, the arsenic, like paints and wallpapers were popular because of their insecticidal qualities. So they knew this, they're beautiful and they kill bugs. They don't think maybe they're killing us.
Why is it killing bugs?
Yeah. So treating your walls prevented ants, prevented termites. So that part's kind of smart. And other pests from eating you out of house and home. However, kids lick walls. Dogs. People do. Kids, weird. There's all kinds of things. And there are thousands of these stories. So there's a story of a child in Peckham who died after sucking on a piece of arsenic-laden wallpaper. I forgot about that. Kids put stuff in their mouths.
Yes, they do.
A person who wore stockings that had arsenic in it caused serious irritation on her legs. Color. It's the color.
Yeah.
One of the bronze green gloves that a lady was wearing made her hands swell, insanely big. One father had reason to believe that 2 of his children died from arsenic wallpaper in their nursery.
Oh.
A case in Birmingham tells of a couple and their parrot, their poor parrot, who became ill within a week of having their home wallpapered.
I don't have a lot of sympathy for
They
parrots.
all recovered
Sorry.
after the paper was removed, though.
Okay.
So they kind of figured it out.
Ooh.
Napoleon, fun fact, was rumored to have dropped dead in a room with Scheele's green wallpaper.
Huh.
Less lucky was the wife of Dr. W., a London surgeon who brought this same Scheele's green wallpaper into their home. 6 months later, she died, apparently from the effects of that poisoning. Ball gowns, decorative artificial flowers, book covers, green socks, Venetian blinds, gloves, curtains, purses, bonnets, candles, cosmetics like complexion clearing lotions that caused wart-like eruptions, toys.
What?
Yep. Insecticidal sprays used on vegetables.
Nope.
Postage stamps.
Oh.
And it was naturally occurring in some drinking water sources, especially those around gold mines.
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yep. And the workers who were making all these products obviously didn't fare well either.
No.
So today we are exposed to arsenic every day. Other sources of arsenic include many foods like leafy greens, rice, poultry, mushrooms, seafood, beer, wine, which
Start
naturally
calling it seafood.
Seafood. It is kind of seafood, isn't it? Yeah. Naturally accumulate arsenic over time. Unless someone is deliberately trying to kill you, the amounts of arsenic we are exposed to are filtered out of your body within a few days.
Okay.
So that's the lowdown.
Tiny amounts are
Yep.
not a big deal.
Yep.
It's
these big, stick a lozenge in your mouth that's enough to kill 2 people. So I have some pictures for you so you can see the color. Good complexion. This was in a beauty product. To all women who desire beauty, until further notice, we will send you a 30-day daily treatment of Dr. Campbell's safe arsenic complexion wafers and a 30-day daily treatment of Folds medicated arsenic soup for $1.
safe arsenic. I'm going to go out on a limb and say oxymoron on that one.
Yeah, another beauty product. Yeah, so big oopsie
Wild.
in human history. So
Of course, we had lead in paint not that long ago, right?
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what I was thinking about. And there are sometimes, in fact, I was just visiting with somebody not long ago about the fact that I have a friend who has an immune disease, an immune disorder. And they trace hers, they think back to medication she took as a teenager.
Oh, interesting.
They're pretty confident that it was, yes, related to that. And
Is it a widely consumed medication?
I mean, it was
now.
in the mid-90s.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Now, not everybody's body reacts the same way.
You might have to let me know off the air, and then I'll do some
right?
research. But listen to this. So that beauty, the secret of a good complexion. These world-famous preparations are a never-failing remedy for bad blood, pimples, freckles, blackheads, moth patches, liver spots,
Ew.
acne, redness on the face, neck, arms, or body. They brighten and beautify the complexion as no other remedies on earth can, and they do it in a very short time. They impart to the complexion the most exquisite fairness, make the skin clear, soft, and velvety. Because you're dead.
Yeah.
I don't...
Well, it's
wow.
probably killing the bacteria, right? But then it's killing you.
Clearly, this is before animal testing or focus group testing or anything. Sold by druggists everywhere, this says. This was 6th Avenue, New York. So,
Oh, my.
oh my.
All righty.
Not good.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with Escapism co-host style. We'll be back. Hello, escape artists out there. Quick public service announcement. You hear us talk on the Escape Pod about the One Heart campus. To learn more about this place for hope and healing where lives are changed for the better, listen to the prologue episode at escapepod.live or wherever you get your podcasts, or visit oneheartrc.org.
I had to yawn. Sorry.
I'm boring her with my countdown.
No, I think I'm just starting to come down from my cortisol hit.
Anger and frustration.
Yes. Yes.
Let's think happy thoughts. Where would you like to escape to in the coming days?
I just really want to tell somebody off right now.
Well,
that would
I'm
be
going to
enjoyable.
encourage you not to do that.
Where would I like to escape to? Well, I do have Friday off, and I have a massage
Oh,
this
that
week.
sounds lovely.
Yeah, I might take tomorrow off too, but now, I don't know if I'll be able to
Here's
do that.
hoping. Here's
Friday
hoping you
for
get
sure.
to take tomorrow off too, or at least
But
part of the day.
I don't know. I'm gonna
Maybe
be.
you can hit it hard in the morning.
Kara,
and
Beth,
then-
and I are gonna be back and forth all day. What about that? What about this? What about this? Pivot, 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 pivot. I get so tired of pivoting. We're good at it. We are so good at pivoting. We are so good at pivoting. Our pivoting muscles are outstanding.
Could pivot.
But it gets like tiring of having to do it all
Pivot
the
is
time.
not a bad word.
No,
and
it's not a bad word. It just gets old.
Thing.
'Cause it means you're responding to a problem.
Maybe you're heading in the right direction,
Oh
though.
my God. I'm going to kill somebody.
She's
I'm not going to kill anybody.
She's like my PR muscles are kicking in. Stop saying things into a microphone for the love of God.
Hey, you have bleep buttons. Just bleep it out.
We don't need to
Also,
bleep it out.
why do our guys
listeners
wait
know.
until we're in here
I know,
to
it
like
freaks you
lurk
out.
around the window well? My God.
It's a little freaky.
Our buildings
I
and
have
grounds
the-
crew.
I have the benefit of seeing them maybe better in the reflection than you even do.
Creepy stalkers. We changed our day and still there they are.
I have a little new obsession, which is so weird because I hate soccer. Have you seen Welcome to Wrexham?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Nope.
So it's the documentary about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney of Sunny in Philadelphia. Always Sunny in
I
Philadelphia.
never watched that.
You would recognize him probably.
Oh, okay.
He's been in other
What's
things
his name?
too. Rob McElhenney.
McElhenney.
But he had this wild idea to buy a football club in
Football club.
Wales, and with the help of Ryan Reynolds, who he did not even know.
Oh, yeah. He looks familiar.
Yeah, you've
Okay.
seen him around on TV and movies.
He's got some nice abs.
They bought a soccer team in Wales, and they did a documentary about it, and it's really good. And I'm hooked. I'm like 5 episodes in, and I'm like, I would have never in a million years thought of myself as the
Caitlin
person.
Olsen? Is that like as in Mary Ashley and
Oh, I don't know. Who is she? Where's this coming from?
his
Wife? Oh, no, I don't
No?
think so.
Okay.
I'd have to
'Cause I
look,
haven't
but I don't
followed,
think
yeah.
so. Yeah. So
he's a nice looking dude. No, yeah, I don't know that show though at all.
They're funny.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is funny. I think
they're both hilarious.
He'd be fun to hang out with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he'll invest in us.
Maybe.
That
Ryan Reynolds.
amazing.
Come on. Was it 6 Degrees of Separation? Anyone listening? No, Ryan Reynolds, please.
Yeah.
I always say, like, if my husband were a movie star, those would be the kind of similar, because it's just constant. They don't shut off. And that's who he reminds me of his constant sarcasm and quippiness and all the stuff. And just that, I'm like, yeah, you'd be very much like Ryan Reynolds, just not as tall.
It's true. He is kind of tall. They're just funny together. And I think it's wild that they didn't know each other. Like Rob McElhenney.
Oh,
totally,
they didn't? They weren't friends
They did
before?
not know each other
weird.
before he pursued him to help him buy a football club. Across the pond, as
6'2".
they like to say.
Ryan Reynolds is 6'2".
He is a cutie patootie. He's not bad to look at.
No.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. The Escape Pod is a labor of love. We are on a mission, though, to grow this podcast so we can pour more resources into One Heart, the nonprofit where we work in Rapid City, South Dakota, where every dollar empowers people to break free from crisis and reclaim their lives. More listeners, more downloads, more impact.
That's right. We truly are a podcast for a cause, and here's where you come in. You can become a patron at escapepod.live, unlock bonus content, behind-the-scenes laughs with both of us here, and also know that you're funding real-life breakouts. I did a little looking, and I learned that less than 15%, less than 15% of our listeners actually subscribe. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping that the 85% of you that watch and just, or listen to this podcast, don't subscribe. So if you've ever enjoyed this podcast, please, 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 could you hit the follow button?
Yeah. Please. 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 And pro tip, downloading episodes beats streaming every time. If you hit that button, the follow button or subscribe button, it'll do it automatically. So that's kind of the beauty of doing that. It really helps our stats, pulls in more ad revenue, and helps us climb the charts so we can reach more ears. Share us with a friend, rate and review wherever you listen, and hit the download button.
That's right. And I think there's some trivia fun going on right now.
There's some trivia fun
some
going on.
And fun out the door. It's exciting. And we really do want to hear from you, whether it's on socials, it's through the podcast. You can connect with us at escapepod.live. You can follow us on our socials. You can reach out, drop us a note. Maybe you have an episode idea just because at escapepod.live. Maybe you want to give some feedback on a story we've done.
Whatever.
Hey, did you know Arsenic also did this? I have no idea. I don't have endless research time. So I'd love to hear from you. And then, or you can send your wild escape story. Maybe you were in an arsenic-laden Victorian house growing up or something.
Poisoned by
Hopefully
anybody,
not.
but if you were, we'd have you in studio.
Yeah, send your story into escapeartist at escapepod.live.
We are closing the hatch on this episode of the Escape Pod. Remember, trauma may be inevitable, but how you grapple with it is optional. So stay resilient.
And don't lick wallpaper.
Don't lick wallpaper. And keep laughing.
Bye, everybody.